Hi everyone. A new ukulele arrived through my door this morning. Here it is. It's made by Ohana and it's called the SK-50WG. It's a soprano sized instrument and it was sent to me by Ohana. It's actually not available in the shops yet, though it is on their website. The price is yet to be announced. Let's have a look at it in some detail. First of all, the woods that it's made from. It's got a cedar top. Now, cedar is a softish wood. It resonates very, very well. It gives a beautiful mellow sound usually. Often used, in fact mostly used, on Spanish guitars. The sides and the back are made from willow, figured willow. Now, willow isn't exactly an endangered wood. It's a very common wood, but it can be very beautiful. And here we can see this figured willow. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it clearly on the camera, but we've got lovely grain, and we've also got this patterning going across it, these waves going across it. So in some ways it looks a little bit like a sort of dark maple. It's a very, very nice wood. More about the woods in a second. Let's just have a look starting at the top. We've got the usual Ohana inlay at the top. It's on a piece of rosewood, I think. It's bound all the way around. The fingerboard is rosewood. The rosette is a rope rosette. Very nice, very attractive. And there's binding all the way round the outside, wooden binding round the outside. It looks like either mahogany or rosewood. And at the back as well. We've also got a light coloured plastic inlay and a dark colour which may or may not be ebony. The back is book matched, so this side reflects this side. The instrument is made in China, along with all the other Ohana instruments. Made in a factory in China. I personally think that Ohana are very, very good value for money. I don't know what price this will be, but it won't be too expensive, I'm sure. It's one of their special models. They've made a few special models. I think they're all sopranos. I may be wrong there. But this is a beautiful sized instrument. It's lovely to look at. Let's look at one or two more details. The bridge is an unusual bridge. I've not seen that on any other Ohana instrument. We could compare that actually with this instrument. Now this is the concert version. It's called a CK-50G. This is an SK, S for soprano, this is C for concert, SK-50WG. The W stands for the willow. The G at the end stands for a gloss finish. Now on neither of these instruments is the finish overdone. It's not so glossy that it looks as if it's been dipped in treacle. But if we compare these two, we can see that the normal Ohana bridge is this rectangular design, quite angular. The bridge on the new one is very nice indeed. It's rosewood. Both saddles are plastic, as are both the nuts. On both, they've got quite a lot in common. On both instruments we have Goto friction tuners. I'm not a great fan of friction tuners, but these are good as friction tuners go. They work very well. The problem with friction tuners is that they are much more difficult to use, to get the instrument into tune. The reason being, on a geared tuner you only have to turn it a small amount Sorry, you only have to turn it, you can turn it very carefully, but it will turn over a longer distance, and the capstan here will only turn a small amount. Now on a friction tuner, it's much more critical. You turn this a little bit and it tunes it quite a lot. It turns it up or down quite a lot. Both of these instruments arrived with Aquila strings. The new one's got Aquila strings on it. I've since put some nylon strings on the concert model. Both of them have a cedar top. Now this cedar top here has been stained this orange colour. This cedar top is much more natural to look at. I prefer, I think, the more natural finish, though on this instrument it does contrast very well with the rosewood back and sides. This one, remember, has got willow back and sides. In many other respects they are identical. Both have a rosewood fingerboard, fretboard. Both have inlay and binding, though on this one there is more of a wooden look about it. This one's got some sort of shell inlay. Both have a rosette. Let's just put this one down and we'll go back to the willow one. It's very, very tidily made. Inside, although you won't be able to see this on the film, inside it's very, very tidy. I can't see a single piece of glue or any piece of wood sticking out, or bits of wood shavings, or any kind of bad workmanship at all. It's very, very well made. Now I can't say that about every Ohana, but what you can say about them is on the exterior they look very, very nice. The interior is not always as well made as you might expect from, let's say, a luthier or one of the better American companies, but the price difference is very sizable. Is there anything else about it I don't like? Well, I have to say I can't find very much that I don't like. I've mentioned the tuners. I'm not a great fan of friction tuners, but a lot of people are, particularly when it comes to an instrument of this size. The advantage of friction tuners on this sized instrument is that they're not obtrusive. They don't stick out here as geared tuners would do, and also it helps with the balance of the instrument. The balance needs to be just right. If it's too heavy at this end, it can be a little bit cumbersome to play, and if you've got geared tuners on it, particularly if they're metal ones, it does make it more difficult to get that balance right. This seems perfect. The strings have been put on very nicely. It's a nice little touch the way they've kept them tidy at this end. I'm not convinced that Aquila strings are the best strings to use on an instrument that is this light. They're quite loud. I think possibly more mellow strings, something like Worth's would be possibly better. But Aquila are a good make of string, and it's really interesting that a company that makes inexpensive instruments, solid wood instruments, should choose to put very high quality strings on. And Aquila are some of the very best strings that you can get. Just something about the woods. I didn't mention it very much to begin with, but unlike other inexpensive instruments where you might find that the top is solid and the back and sides are laminate, this instrument is all solid. So we have solid willow back and sides. As I said, it's not exactly a rare wood, but to have a solid instrument within this price bracket, and I assume that the price is going to be something similar to this one. You can check the prices in your own country. I think they're very, very well worth the money. I'm very pleased with this. They've sent it to me. I get to keep it, so you will see this appearing in other videos that I make. Now, what does it sound like?